So February to June, before we played, we're out raising capital. If you want to be in a minor league business, you've got to raise a lot of money. These teams really cost a lot to get going. And in our case, because we didn't have a stadium, we had to raise about $4.5 million to build one. So we went out, we offered units to investors for a minimum of $50,000. We said it was a fun investment. We hope to make money, but if you want to be an owner of a baseball team, it's a great way to do it. Didn't have any debt, and we put together 45 investors. Then we had to figure out how to govern all this, and we put together a 10-member board of directors. We tried to make it kind of local to Worcester, but we had trouble attracting Worcester investors. So a lot of the group came out of the Boston area, and the board effectively ran the team. Then we had to go out and find players. That was a good reason to have Rich Gedman and Bobby Ojeda. We contacted major league teams. We hit spring training in Florida. We ran tryout camps, and we ran a spring training, and we put together a group of players. During that same time, we were really busy on that corporate sales, the sponsorship part of it. And so you try to really find everything you can to sell. So this included naming our ballpark, and we found a major insurance company, Hanover Insurance. So the ballpark was at Holy Cross. It was called Fitton Field for 100 years. Holy Cross wouldn't let us change the name, but we were able to call it Hanover Insurance Park at Fitton Field and sell those naming rights for about $100,000 a year to Hanover. And then you can see a little bit over here, every inch of that outfield we sold, and any place we can put a sign up. You sell the foul poles, you sell the dugouts, programs, promotional activities, you sell the fireworks for sponsorships, the team positions, or the official team of Fallon Healthcare, and we targeted about $700,000 to $1 million of corporate sales. During all this time, you're out selling tickets, trying to get in the local media as much as you can, speak before every group, creating a ticketing system, selling group sales. And then as the season opened, it's all about concessions. So menu pricing, getting licensed, trying to deliver a decent level of quality. The radio and TV, and probably at Emerson, you guys know this more than anyone, there are a lot of aspiring major league broadcasters out there, and what they need to do is get tapes and experience. So there's no shortage of people. We play a 92-game season, so there's no shortage of really young broadcasters willing to work for practically nothing to be able to say that they are a minor league broadcaster, particularly in the Boston area, where all sorts of people vacation and they might get hurt and be able to get to the next level. So we on a major radio station in Worcester, also an 18-game cable schedule, and created a lot of cross-marketing opportunities. Be short on this one, and this is the craziest thing I've ever done in my life. We had no ballpark. We got it permitted in a very short period of time. Usually it can take a year. We did it in about 2 weeks because the city was very anxious to help us out. We started construction on April 1st, and we played our first game on June 6th. The only way that happened was that the University of Virginia happened to have built a ballpark in the same dimensions that we had when we had we had a big hill that sat behind the stands here. They had kind of the same thing. So the plans were done. We bought the same set of plans and had the same company down in Kentucky build it and deliver it prefabricated. So again, something that usually would take a year, we did in about 10 weeks. Then you have to create fan experience. Again, it really all comes back to marketing and making it family friendly. We had this crazy guy named Peterman who would wear wild jackets, and he was just a nutcase, but he'd run around with a microphone and be the entertainer during the games. Very important to get the right mascot, because that's what the kids think about. They don't care about the baseball game. This was Twister, who I think was some cross between a bear and a dog, but the kids loved him, and that worked really well. So Peterman was kind of the in-game MC, get everybody dancing, would sing, would do anything it took, ran the on-field promotions during the game. So how did this work out? We actually won the championship in our first year, which was crazy because we've never won it again. We drew about 2,600 fans, which for minor league baseball is good, and it stayed pretty steady. But the novelty wears off, and it's very hard to continue to attract fans the way you do in the beginning. That's a real challenge in the sports world. It was a great fan experience. Over time, the whole idea is development. So front office people who worked for us ended up going to major league organizations. We had people with the Red Sox and with the Diamondbacks and other people within the minor league system. And players, you try to move the players along as well. So in independent baseball, in your player contract, the player can be signed at any point during the season by a major league team, and the major leagues will pay us. We've had one guy actually make it all the way to the majors, and that happened this year. Was a guy that we signed named Tommy Corcoran, and he got called up this year by the Reds. Was on their roster, major league roster, for about 5 days. He never pitched, unfortunately, but he was the first guy that we had who made it above AAA. We had great sales in the beginning. Financially, this was a struggle, and it was really a struggle that was in part determined by the ballpark itself and the cost of building it, which kind of broke the traditional model. We had put so much money into it that we never really got out from behind it. I started this out as an investor, and the lead investor, the guy we thought was going to run it, ended up being a little bit of a train wreck. So I became chairman, and basically I became the guy for about 4.5 years of this. It was one of the most amazing experiences I've ever had, because I was involved on a daily basis, even though I was trying to run my own business at the same time. I ended up selling it about 1.5 years ago. That was also a very happy day. But this was us winning the championship in that first year. And I threw on, one of the things is you get these. This is a sports tradition. At any level, you get the big ring when you win the championship, which doesn't come out of my drawer very often, but it's kind of a thing amongst people in sports. Is if you win it, you wear the ring on certain occasions. So.
Well, tonight, the thrill of professional baseball for a fraction of what it costs to go to Fenway Park.
And as Chief Correspondent Joe Shortsleeve shows us, minor league teams are a major hit here in New England.
It's America's pastime, a summer night at the ballpark, a chance to show your pride in the hometown team while having a hot dog or some popcorn.
It's the perfect thing to do on a nice night. Bring the family out and watch a little baseball.
And these days, more fans are rooting on minor league teams like the Worcester Tornadoes.
Most people can't afford to go to a major league game on a regular basis, and I think we're responding to the need.
Teams like the Worcester Tornadoes are sprouting up across New England. Not only do we have the Pawtucket Red Sox, you can see professional baseball in Lowell, Lynn, Brockton, Manchester, New Hampshire, and Portland, Maine. For less than $10 a person, it's possible to bring the whole family and outfit them in hats and t-shirts.
It's awesome.
Awesome, why?
Because it's
Ladies and
you
gentlemen,
just come in, watch it,
Lagarelli and Jillian
see Twister.
Yeah,
Twister!
Twister is the Tornadoes mascot. He makes the game an event.
it's really a kind of a kids of all ages carnival atmosphere.
Across the country, minor league baseball is now a $500 million a year
multi-year industry. Last year, 40 million fans went to see 176 teams play baseball.
There are entrepreneurs out there who realize that there's a marketplace. And where there's a marketplace, there'll be teams.
Northeastern law professor Roger Abrams has written several books on baseball.
Here it is. Swinging a ground ball, stabbed by Folk. He has it. He underhands to first, and the Boston Red Sox are the world champions.
He says Red Sox fever has made New England ripe for more baseball.
Everyone is a Red Sox fan. Some of them are new Red Sox fans, but it's a good time to be a Red Sox fan. It is not a good time to want to go see a Red Sox game.
Minor League Baseball isn't just giving the fans additional options. More teams means more chances for young players with big dreams.
It's more opportunity to play, and that's good for guys that are still trying to get to the, get to the big leagues.
We all hungry. We all hungry to go to majors.
And in Worcester, they have plenty of fans happy to root them on. Joe Shortsleeve, CBS 4 News.
Gives you a little feeling about how it all came together, but it's kind of fun, and it's been a source of pride. This was a cartoon that was in the Worcester paper that year. It tells you just kind of how much it was integrated into the community. And that's the ballpark we built in 10 weeks.